section, we're going to be talking about the petty cash fund. And I'm going to do a demonstration in this section. So, when we have a petty cash account, how many of you have a little stash of cash at home? In your drawer or whatever, in your room, whatever. Okay? Pretty much everybody, almost, okay? You have a little stash of cash you keep on hand in case you want to, buy your favorite teacher in accounting, Mrs. McGrath, a present, right? Okay? So, first of all, you've got to have some place where you're going to keep that, and you're going to keep it organized. You should know how much money is in there. You should have some sort of record-keeping process for this, okay? So, you're going to, how many of this? First, there's three components to having a petty cash fund. There are three components. First of all, you have to establish your petty cash fund. Okay? Second thing, you're going to use the funds, and there's got to be a methodology behind using them. And then third, you're going to have to replenish it. So think about it. This little stash of cash you have in your bedroom, in your drawer, whatever, okay? You put a certain amount in there. Maybe you put $50, whatever. You put a certain amount in there, and then, when it starts to get low, you go to the bank again, and you get some more, and you put it back in there, right? That's pretty much what happens. Same thing with businesses. They do the same type of thing. They establish a petty cash fund, and they do that by going over to their bank. They write out a check, okay? They write out a check essentially to themselves. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here, okay? They write out a check essentially to themselves, and then they go to the bank and they get cash. So I'm ABC Company. I'm going to write a check to myself, and I'm going to go to my bank, and I'm going to go get that cash, okay? So I'm going to come over to my bank. My banker's going to give me $200, okay? All right, so I go into the bank, I give him the check. He's going to give me $200 out of my bank account, and I'm going to put it in my petty cash drawer, okay, right here, my petty cash drawer, okay?
Why wouldn't you just take out, why would you just do like a drawer?
Well, it's the same thing. That's what I did. Right, yeah, I'm doing a withdrawal. I'm taking it, and I'm putting it in my petty cash box or drawer, something that's secure in your business. So you have to journalize that, right? And you've got to account for the fact that it's coming out of your cash account and going into your petty cash drawer or box or whatever you want to call it. Okay? So the way that you do it to establish the fund, you're going to write the date that you're doing it, that you're establishing it. You're going to write so that you're putting it in petty cash. You brought it on check number 8 and the amount. Okay? We do all of our little steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody knows those, right? Okay. Now, along comes a day where I need to pay for something out of my petty cash drawer. So, in this particular case, we're going to do, on here we're going to use our petty cash slip, and it's just a form to show proof that you've made a cash payment. Okay? And in this particular case, we paid the newspaper guy for an ad. We put an advertisement into our newspaper for the dollar amount of $10, and we're going to expense it. Okay? It's advertising expense. We would take the money out of our petty cash drawer, give it to the little newspaper guy, and now how much is my petty cash box? It's down by $10. It's no longer $100 or $200. It's right $190. Okay, but I don't go and keep updating my petty cash account. Okay, all I do is write out a slip and put it in the petty cash box, and I'll show you what happens afterwards. Afterwards, then, we replenish our petty cash fund for whatever we've taken out of our petty cash fund. And we journalize all the slips that are in our petty cash box that we've taken money out for. Okay? So, we paid cash to replenish our petty cash fund, $30. So, again, if I would go to, and I'll show this to you in a minute. I'll go back to it, okay? I'll show it to you in a minute. We go, get off of there. We go and we take out all those slips that were in our box, and we go back to the bank and we get that money and we put it back into our petty cash drawer. So we paid cash to replenish our petty cash fund. Whatever the total amount is, we have a total of $30, and then we put slips in there for miscellaneous expense, and we put slips in there for advertising expense. We're going to do this for the first time, what we call a compound entry. Okay? A compound entry is where we have 2 debits and only 1 credit. So we're debiting 2 different things and we're crediting 1. You could also have 2 debits and 2 credits, but it's more than 1 account is affected in 1 transaction. So we're going to go and we're going to replenish $20 for the miscellaneous expense and $10 for the advertising. And we're going to take it back out of our cash fund. We're going to take what we used up out of our petty cash fund and put it back in there. So why do we use a petty cash fund? It's a simplicity thing. So instead of before, we would have journalized each one of these one at a time, and we maybe would have had it written out a check or something like that. Now we're simplifying. We're doing a compound entry. We're not doing it every single day, etc. So it's a simplicity thing, okay? And I'll show you how it works. What we're going to do, let me just finish this little page here. Okay, the last one. I'm going to show you, I'm going to model it for you. Oops, there's a 4th one. That's the end of our notes. These are all of the different terms that we've used during this chapter. And then I'm going to model for you how the petty cash fund is going to work. Okay? So, say bye-bye notes. Bye. All right. Oops.